Hi everyone. So today I'll be going through day 3 of our Bible recap in 1 year. So day 3 covers Genesis chapters 8 to chapter 11. So what these 3 chapters, to summarize, is basically once the flood happens, the flood subsides, Noah and his family come out of the boat, and God makes a promise to them. Once this promise is given and the covenant is made with Noah and his family, God asks them to be fruitful and multiply. So chapters 10 goes into the genealogy of Noah and his sons, and also once that happens, it goes into the story of the Tower of Babel. So there's a few points that I wanted to reflect on, what stood out to me. So point 1, so once the flood subsides, the Hebrew word used is God remembered, or he turned his attention to. Once the purpose of the flood was accomplished, he turned his attention back to Noah and the ark. So this kind of demonstrates that God's attention, his focus, his love is always toward us, and he doesn't want to show his wrath, which is why God went on to make a covenant with Noah and his family, and God told Noah and his family to be fruitful and multiply, and he gave them permission to kill and eat animals for food, and he gave humans, as stewards of the animal kingdom, and he also gave a sign in the rainbow to assure humankind that he won't be doing a great flood again. That kind of destruction won't happen on the earth again. So the Hebrew word for bow is kesheth, and this is actually used to refer usually to an archer's bow, like a bow and arrow. And it mentions obviously the word cloud, so there's a bow in the clouds, which indicates that it's a rainbow. But the military connotation, which is usually what the word is used for, is still there. And the rainbow, it could signify symbolically that God's put his war bow down, and God's wrath via the flood ended, and he hung up his bow. So that's a fun little Hebrew word there that could refer to that kind of perception that, the wrath of God, what the flood accomplished, happened, and God looked toward humanity and showed them mercy and wanted them to be fruitful and multiply. And what did humans do? Obviously, we got a bit big for our boots, and we tried to make a name for ourselves and go up toward God. But even in that, in chapter 11, verse 5, it says Yahweh came down to see. Once the humans started building the Tower of Babel, Yahweh came down. So we were trying to go up to God, but God ended up coming down. And that is, I think, quite symbolic of the whole plan of God. What he wants to do for us is come down to our level and show his love and mercy toward us. Even though we get too big for our boots and we try and make a name for ourselves, God is always so merciful toward us, and he doesn't want to continue to keep showing his wrath, which is why his plan all the way from Noah is becoming increasingly clear. He doesn't want to be a God that stays up there, but that comes down to us and wants to have a relationship with us. So that really encouraged me. So verses 5, that it really showed that God wants that relationship with us, and even though humankind didn't listen, didn't obey his rules, he still wants to show his mercy. So Yeah, that was my reflection and what stood out to me. So